Roberto Carlos. Popped into the penalty area towards Zidane.
Nani.
Rooney! Oh, wonderful! Manchester City are still alive here. Balotelli, Aguero!
Hello, good morning. Savva here from Football Heritage TV. Hope that everyone is well. Been an interesting 10 hours since we finished the Spurs review. Listen, I hope you're all well. Hope everyone is well. Happy Monday to you. It's an absolutely glorious day here today in England, and I cannot wait to finish some streaming this morning so I can get the dogs out, take them for a little run around the park, and get some fresh air into the lungs. Strangely, I wake up, lovely morning, and all I can feel is hay fever, so hopefully I'm going to try and hold in any sneezes. I would like to just say a really quick point. Listen, guys and girls, any conversations that happen on the YouTube channel, any rows and debates you see between people like me and Sean or Danny Kiriakou, whatever it may be, it's just football. Okay, none of us take it personally. We're all very passionate online and we're all friends offline. Okay, so all I would say is please can people stop then coming in the chat with such vitriol. And what I mean by that is, I'm not sure if any of you saw this last night. I have people coming in my chat talking about my wife, talking about how she would probably want to kill herself because I'm so negative. People coming into the chat, into my chat, not on the show. This is into my comments on YouTube afterwards, talking about how I've stolen charity money when people have clearly seen that I haven't stolen charity money. People saying that I should just kill myself because I'm scum of the earth and I don't actually support Spurs. Telling me they hope I lose 1,000 subscribers and that without them, I'm absolutely nothing and I should be nicer to that person. So yeah, just if you do see that in the chat, please just know that none of that stuff is true. My wife is very happy, as far as I know. So she's told me I haven't stolen any charity money. I've shown many people receipts, if you will, and emails from Just Giving confirming that the money has gone, emails from British Heart Foundation, etc., etc. So please, can everyone just ignore that if you see that. But also remember that we are just human beings. I've seen so many people in one of my WhatsApp groups this morning shared around comments that they've received in the last week from people who come into YouTube after a debate. Bearing in mind, the debate was about whether or not Emerson Royale and Romero can play a high line. It's crazy. It's only an opinion on whether or not they can play a high line with with forwards who run in behind them. So, listen, I don't take it personally. It doesn't affect me, but I think people just need to relax a little bit. It's football, right? It is football at the end of the day. So, hey, it is what it is. But listen, there's 250 of you in here. Big up to each and every one of you. What I would say, last thing I'll say on that is it's amazing how many people, they'll hear that. But then when I did a really big segment about how I think James Maddison is a brilliant player and how I think Yves Bissouma is going to be a brilliant player this year and how I like Vicario, that gets ignored. It's just the negative bit they want to hear. But it is what it is. Big up this morning to real supporters of the channel. Strasbourg Steve is in the house, just putting in a super chat. Big up, Steve. Hope you're well. Steve, I think you can agree with me, mate. What I was saying about, Shakhtar getting through our defence and that this isn't a good Shakhtar team anymore. This isn't the Shakhtar team of old when people are going, oh, they're a Champions League team. They may well be, but this isn't the Shakhtar team of old. Big up to you, Steve. He's come back in and said, are you doing a Premier League prediction video or is that not really your thing? Yeah, I will do probably Friday. Just as the season starts, I will do a prediction video. I'll get a few people on. We'll put down our predictions. No doubt that will get called out and get called something, but hey, we'll put that down. So big up, Steve. Always been a big supporter of the channel. Thank you, mate. And another big supporter of the channel is Santu. Hasn't said anything. Literally just given a super chat. Thank you so much. I really, really do appreciate it. Sorry. I can feel the hay fever and sore throat and everything coming this morning. Not good. So thank you so much to those three. I really do appreciate that. That's very nice. And you know what? Every now and then you do need to hear some nice things as well as bad things, right? Good morning to Eamon Burns in the chat. Good morning. Hope you're well. Good morning to Craig Henschel. In a minute, once I've done the intros, we will talk about Postecoglou's comments about needing 2 more defenders to play in this progressive system. This aggressive system. So get your thinking caps on that one. Kevin Burton's in the chat and said, so gutted. Timber would have been a great signing. He's primarily a right back, but was best player on the pitch despite playing left back yesterday. Yeah, he did play well, didn't he, Timber? He's a good footballer. Kudos. I said, always back my striker, Dane Scarlett. I know he will come good. Very talented striker, needs another loan. Look, again, with any young player, it's about time. It's you know, we can't say because he got a cracking goal that he's going to be this great player. Again, you're right. He needs to go out on loan. For me, go out on loan, get yourself 15, 20 goals in League One, come back next year, maybe go to Championship. I think, you know, otherwise what we end up doing is we end up putting too much pressure on these young players at such a young age. Big up to Tigaro, the single parent theory. Big up to you. I hope you're well. Hennessy, yeah, sorry, mate. I was taking, I couldn't find some hay fever tablets and I was looking around and yeah, so apologies for that. Steve D said, good morning, Sovereign chat. Yesterday was hilarious. Off to work, but listening in the car. Big up to you, Steve. Hope you enjoy your work today. Bob Cunningham said, if we play football like that in every game, I think Kane could get 40 goals this season. Yeah, look, there's no doubt Kane will score goals. It's just, will we have that many shots against every single team we play against? I'm not sure they'll be as bad as that defensively, but we will certainly be attacking this year. So I don't never worried about our ability to score goals. It is always about our ability to keep them out. Talking Tottenham, I said, you're a good man. Thanks for the content you do. I'm a carer and do a lot of walking between visits. It's awesome to be able to listen to you in the mornings. Listen, look, guys and girls, I know what I'm like. I can be very passionate. I can be very in your face with a football opinion. But outside of the football, that's where it all stops. And that's why when the personal thing attacks, you know, I don't finish my streams and then get really, really, oh my God, have you seen this? I don't, it's all good. Like, it's just football. Spurs Sykes, morning, folks. Great show last night, Savva. Yeah, really enjoyed it. It was good. Paul Hancock said, morning. Hope everyone is well. I rushed to make the show on time for once and Savva's late. Yeah, apologies, mate. Struggling this morning with a hay fever. Before we carry on, please smash the likes. You know the rules by now. Let's smash the likes. As Henry Wright would say, let's treat it like rent. And also, let's keep subscribing as we move towards 9,000. We're 250 away from 9,000, which is fantastic numbers. Thank you. Matthew MC said he enjoyed the show. A lot of people have messaged with good support as well, saying that. Good morning, Wayne. Big up to Ultras Kenny. George Ellaway said, morning, lads, and ladies. Morning to you, George. Sander is in. Said, good morning to you. George asked if anyone's been to the game. I won't pay leaving in. I think everyone knows that. Sue, big up, Sue. Hope you're well. By the way, anyone, I did say there is a YouTube members show tonight at 6:15 for anyone that can make it. I have sent the link into our members group. So if anyone else did want to become a member, there is a YouTube members group tonight. Martin, it's absolutely fine. I'll speak to you on Insta. It's absolutely fine, mate. Don't worry about it. Hope you're well, my friend. Didn't need to put that in a super chat. It's all good, mate. It's all good. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. It's absolutely fine. Do you think he will start VDV at Brentford? I hope. I just don't know. Is he going to be ready in time? I think it's very clear that we need to get players in. I don't think a Romero Davis partnership can continue for too long. JR, thank you. I said always have a well-reasoned point of view and well presented. Hey, it is what it is. Look, Sean and I just had a big debate last night. We always have those sort of debates. and everyone takes it well out of context. But hey, Sue said, I was hoping Spencer would get some games under Ange. I think the problem again is he's not a right back, is he? He's a right wing back. This is the problem. We need to be able to defend. Apologies. We need to be able to defend, right? And I'm just not sure Jed Spencer's that guy. Then we have seen this morning, apparently, a lot of reports saying that Jed Spencer's been put on the transfer list, which doesn't surprise me in the slightest if it's true. Got to start seeing some outgoings, haven't we? We've been saying this for about 7 or 8 weeks now. We've got to see some outgoings at this club. Good morning to Ant as well. Great show last night. Great content, gets better and better. Your passion is your Mediterranean side of you coming out. Maybe. I just want the best for Tottenham Hotspur. And it's always perceived as negativity, which always makes me laugh. I just want the best. I just want Tottenham to go out and act like a big club for once. I want them to prove me wrong. You know, I want Tottenham to go out and show why so many fans rave about them. Do you know what I mean? I want to be proven wrong that we can't get a Laporte, but we'll talk about that in a minute. I want them to prove to me that we can go and get top players, but we don't do that, do we? We really, really don't do that. So let's see. Bear with me 1 second, please, people. Bear with me 1 second. Just got to check something on YouTube. Make sure my settings are right. Sorry about that. I just had to check my settings were right. Morning, Savva. The member link is still not showing on an iPhone. I don't know what to say about that. Are you able to log on to a computer? The member link should be showing. It really, really should be. I can put the link in here for the membership. It should show. So bear with me 1 second. Let me see if I can do that for you. Sorry, I've got so many. Honestly, if you saw how many YouTube tabs I've got open, it's absolutely unbelievable. So the membership tab is here. There's the membership tab. I'm sticking it in right now. So it should be the last link that's showing the membership. If you copy that and paste it into a computer, it should take you right there. George has said, morning, went to the game yesterday. I'm really not sold on Vicario. Very indecisive. Well, sorry, George, I'm going to disagree. What did he do? What did he do wrong? I'm not sure what Vicario did wrong. I thought he made a couple of good saves. He came out and smothered when their forward went through on goal. I'm not sure what he did wrong. I feel like everyone's just having a go at him. Posty Pat has said, Lauren James just got sent off against Nigeria. We're on the ropes. Let me put the score on for that game. It's 0-0 with 6 minutes added time. It looks like it's going into extra time there. Looks like it's been mostly England in possession, but the Nigeria have had more goal attempts. But let's keep an eye on that one. And good luck to the women's England team. JR, a suspense, either won't have an attitude or Ange as his manager. Video complete. Sofiana said, morning, Savva. I'm waiting for VDV's medical. Yeah, I think that there. If I'm not wrong, both the medicals are happening today, right? For Verlies and Van der Ven. So they should be tied up. Let's talk about, just quickly, Rovshan said, what did I make of Adoji so far? Looks powerful, looks very good going forward. I want to see more of him defending. I want to see more of him defending to know if he's a top defender, but looks very powerful going forward. But again, we've not really been tested. Janet, last warning. Janet, last warning, please, or we will just block you. All right, we're not going to do that today. I'm getting a little bit tiresome of people now. I've literally just said I really like our goalkeeper. We're about to talk about James Maddison. We're about to talk about Van der Ven being a top defender. I think people need to just stop. It's getting a little bit silly now. Simon D, big up. I said Ange made comments about another couple of defenders coming over the next few days. I wonder who. Absolutely, we're going to talk about this. Gunner 20 has said, I'm an Arsenal fan. You talk real. Listen, people don't like it. Everything's got to be lovely and sunshine and rainbows, or you get people just hating like that fake account there. Where are we? John Celtic guy said, Andrew put him in right away. He has done it with every team he has managed. VDV. I really hope so, my friend. I really hope so. I think we saw yesterday that Ben Davies cannot play in a 2 at the back. He just cannot play that system. He truly, truly can't. So for me, yeah, I truly, truly do not want to see Ben Davies anymore in those systems. Sorry, what is my phone is doing something really weird. Sorry, my phone is doing something really, really, really weird. Chocolate milkshake or some smoothie? No, it's just a protein shake. I'm just trying to lessen the number of calories going into the body. Kate has said, Savva, have you heard we're going to get long late in, holding out for a cheap deal? Listen, I think the key thing is we've been seeing this all year. We've been seeing this all year. I'm not sure what more we have to see, but I don't think he'll bring him in. I think that would be a huge mistake. So I don't think he will bring him in. But stranger things have happened. Big up to all of you. There's 342 of you in here so far. I'm sure we'll grow as the show goes on. Smash that like button. Thank you so far for the super chats. And please continue to subscribe if you haven't, so we can get to 9,000 as quickly as possible. Here is the link if anyone did want the membership. Paul Davis has said, morning Savva from the sunny Whitstable. Let's hope that we have a busy week, some more defensive options. Yeah, absolutely. We've definitely got to get more defensive options in there. Yeah. Sorry, my YouTube is playing up massively. I don't know why my YouTube is playing up. Sorry. Billy Wilson Neal's a channel member, says Spurs linked to James Ward-Prowse. Would he sit the 6 role, or would he be 8 with Basuma being the 6? I've got a feeling that in this formation, you're going to have more and more people say, more and more of a 2-8 rather than an 8 and a 6. I think what you're going to see is 2 hard-working, combative midfielders that rotate. That's just my opinion. Does James Ward-Prowse fit that? I don't know. Here's the question I would ask you. Who would you rather have, James Ward-Prowse or Emil Højbjerg? Who would you rather have? I'll just leave that with you for a second. It's in the comments. I've put it in there. Also, if anyone wants to join the Fantasy League, you are more than welcome to. Again, here is the link. By the way, sorry, if you're saying, so where is the member link, bro, for the show at 6:15? It's in my YouTube. I put out a post yesterday to channel members only. You should all have received it. I'll do another one before the show later, but it's all there for you to see. Absolutely, bring it up. Yeah, I don't understand. I mean, I felt like this guy was getting attacked loads yesterday, and I don't know what he did wrong. I feel like now we're just looking at a keeper and going, yeah, you're rubbish, before he's had an option, before he's had any opportunity to really get going. Where are we? Kuva's in the house. Big up, Kuva. How many times have you lifted up one of those pugs for cheap likes? No, he's asleep next to me in the basket today. He's asleep. He got up, went for his run and his toilet and stuff, had his food, and now he's tired again. The life of a pug. Big up, Kuva. Let me know whenever you want to come on, mate. It's been a long time. Love having you on. So whenever you message, you know you can come on. Big up, Martin. Yeah, you have been a member a while now, so big up to you. Lucas said Vicario couldn't do anything about that goal. Was solid aside from that. I agree. I'm not sure. I'd love to know what people saw. I didn't see anything wrong with him. Bearing in mind, this is only like his third start, and the other 2 games he only got 45 minutes. Phineas said, I spoke to Sean off screen. He's a good guy. Yeah, he is. I don't agree on his take on Spurs, but it is what it is, like yourself. People have no debate. They just attack personnel. Sorry. Yeah, Sean's a good guy. Surely it makes you laugh. Like if Perchy and I are on screen, for example, people have a go that we agree. When I get Sean on and me and Sean disagree, I get told, oh, God, no, it's too negative. You can't win with people, honestly. Guys and girls, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, the link, it's a link for the show. It's a link for a show like this. It's just a YouTube link to a normal show, but it's for members only. So it's in the YouTube comments. If you go to my YouTube page and look at my community section, you'll see all of my posts and it'll be there. I will put it in again later for any channel members. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll stick it in here now and any channel members can save it. If you're not a channel member, it won't allow you in. I'll put it in there now. So bear with me 1 second. Right. Just so you know, this link I am posting right now at 10:28 is for a channel member only show at 6:15. It will not allow you in if you're not a channel member. It's that simple. Okay. Good morning, Kate. Hope you're well. I am very well, thank you. All good my end. Idiots in the YouTube comments, not in this show, but in general. But other than that, very, very good. Kudos said, hope England goes out. Yours sincerely, an Australian. I don't really know a lot about it. Are Australia still in? I know they're hosting, but are they still in? Hang on, Kuva's going to come on. Kuva's going to come on. This is good. So bear with me 1 second. Let's send Kuva that link. I haven't streamed with Kuva for a couple of weeks now. Hang on, where are we? Compose. Send it to my email, not someone else's. Let's get Kuva on and get his take. And this should be fun. I like Kuva. I hope everyone else does as well. Guys and girls, please keep smashing the likes. We'll get into some football proper conversation in a minute. Sorry, it's been a bit of a jumpy start so far today. But there we go. Kuva now has the link. Paste. Kuva now has the link. And so do... Boom. Right. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. Kuva is going to come on in a minute. Listen, first of all, thank you. 4 people have subscribed this morning. Sorry, I was being a bit put off my game today by some of these horrible comments. And I know it shouldn't affect me, but unfortunately, I'm a human being and it does. Posty Pat says, Savva, could we get some Stewie content? He's asleep at the moment. I'm not going to wake him up because the moment I do, it'll be a pain in my backside for the next hour. Nano has said Vicario did quite well despite the chuckle brothers in front of him. Yeah, I think you've got to remember that as well. He's playing in front of 2 poor centre halves. Big up to Strasbourg Steve, who's coming again and said, what's the member show about? I'll be watching. The member show, it's a chance for members to talk about whatever they want. It's a bit more of an intimate show where maybe some people are members but don't feel as comfortable to come on or post. We go on the show and it's just more of an intimate kind of chat. I think there's about 120 members now. So, you know, it could have 20 people in there. We could have 120 in there. So it is what it is. East London Gooner has become a member as well. Big up to you. We've even got Arsenal fans becoming members. Big up to you, my man. I hope you're well. Hope your son is well. You can see that that's his little picture there in your page. So big up to you too. Let me know his name. We'll give him a shout out if he's watching this. So big up to Steve, big up to East London Gooner, and Santu coming in with just another super sticker. So big up to you as well, Santu. And talking about people who helped with the show always when I was growing, is this man, Kuva. Thank you so much for joining. How are you?
Tired out as usual, mate, but happy place at the moment. I was going for a hectic time, thinking got to sell the house, you know, downsize, as a lot of people do and that nowadays. Money's tight and everything, and it was getting me down. And you know, the closer it gets to accepted an offer now, so looking at the new place and you know, getting a bit of excitement now. All of a sudden, it helps that we're starting to play some football.
It really does, doesn't it?
It really does.
It really does.
I'm a bit aghast with the some of the criticism coming the way of some of it, though. With what I've seen is, it doesn't matter the opposition, we're having 30 pops a goal a game. That's insane.
Do you know what, Kuva? I agree with you. My worry, when people see me being negative on stream, my big issue is always at the back. That's my big issue, is always going to be at the back.
Yeah.
I think most people agree with that. I've said all summer, I'm not worried about us going forward. This manager will play a progressive game. That, okay, we might not have 30 shots at goal in every game, but we're going to have chances. We're gonna fly forward. We're going to have chances. And I don't know if you saw it last night, but the debate I had with Sean, I was just very much like, I love that, but just give the manager some defenders he needs that can cope with that coming back so quickly. And that's the problem when you look, as I was trying to say, when you look at famous teams that have played this high line and done it, Barcelona, that team, this Man City team, their defenders are so quick on the turn. They get sprung.
Under Pochettino.
Us under Pochettino, yeah. You watch, Jan and Toby weren't the quickest, but they were so intelligent. They knew when to drop 5 yards.
Helps to have a Moussa Dembele in front of you as well, doesn't it?
Absolutely. But that's the point I was trying to make, right? I was saying, if you get in Van de Ven and another centre-half with pace, or it could be a fullback with pace, like the way Man City do it with Walker, right?
Yeah.
Then you get that number 6 in front of them. All of a sudden, I'm saying, do you know what? Go on, fly forward. Fly forward. You've got Dembele who's a rock, Alderweireld, Walker and Vertonghen. They can cope with it. At the moment, all I was saying was it's just going to be a little bit risky in games because I don't believe that's Romero's forte or Royals. That's all I said. And the hate. Kuva, I got to think, I hope your wife dies. Do you know, like, I hope she leaves you. It's like someone wanted her to leave me and die. Like, that's a bit harsh. Like, she couldn't just do one or the other. Do you know what I mean? Like, she couldn't just die or just leave me.
Puts the pressure on, doesn't it?
Yeah. To which my response was, and I showed this to my wife, at least if she dies, my mortgage gets paid off. Like a bit of banter. Oh, that sums you up. And I was like, oh, God, I give up. But that's all I was trying to say, Kuva, was that in behind, I felt that Shakhtar did get some joy, but they weren't good enough to capitalise. But let's talk a positive, Kuva. Let's talk a positive. I thought James Maddison yesterday showed us everything we've missed since Christian Eriksen. What did you make of Maddison?
Bag of tricks, wasn't he? I was loving some of those little twists and turns he was doing at the edge of the box, either to get the shot in or try and put somebody in for an attempt themselves. Yeah, he's just got vision, hasn't he? The bloke knows how to play football. I think he's going to fit in so well for us. Christian Eriksen, the comparison's always going to come there because who have we had to fill that role? We were hoping the likes of Ndombele were going to do it, but look how that turned out. Anyway, I'm like you. Even if we sold Kane, I wouldn't have any worries about us scoring goals this season. We just got so many attack-minded players. You're talking about the defence. I'm thinking, even though he's got slated, people like Porro playing as a wing-back, he's got the pace to get up and down the pitch. And that's no problem. Udogie on the other side doing it. There's your pace, but you do need those central defenders, don't you? And I think, I think the ones we're linked with could just fit the role. I think Romero's fits in nicely as well because he's just so aggressive. Get proactive. He gets to win the ball before it becomes a problem.
I think he'll be fine in there. I think he'll be fine in there, but the bloke next to him, for me, has got to be quick on the recovery.
I agree.
And listen, I'm not blaming Romero for that, but playing next to Davis, that's never gonna work, is it?
High line with those two. Romero pushes up and Davies covering, no chance. We saw it, didn't we? Just against Shakhtar. How many times were people just running past like they're not there? This ties in with, I don't understand why Vicario's getting the stick because if I remember rightly, the only goals he's conceded so far are basically been free hits from inside the 6-yard box.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's where you favour the player to score. If he'd saved some of those, we would have been going, wow, what a save.
Mate, do you know what? You're spot on. If you look at all the goals, there were 2 bullet point blank headers against West Ham. There was when he was through on goal because Højbjerg gave it away. I think Sanchez didn't block it, and then Skamaka was clear through on goal. You then had Lion City Sailors. I don't know what he was meant to do about that. They just ran through us. And then yesterday, what was it? I don't think he was meant to do anything. For me, I truly believe that I'm not saying it all will happen this window, Kuva. I'm not. I truly believe if you get in another centre-off, we're going to talk about that in a minute in terms of lots of Laporte conversation, lots of Tapsoba conversation as there has been a window. I truly believe if you get one of them in and shift Van de Ven to the left, it then allows for a Porro. It then allows for someone not as defensively good because the other 3 shift across to make it a free when that player goes forward. Now chuck in a Wanyama an Amrabat, that I'm not saying we're going to get Amrabat, that type of player, all of a sudden, I think no one panics the moment a team breaks on us. But yesterday, every time they broke on us, and this was my overall point, is that they're not a good team. This is not the Shakhtar team I saw from 2-3 years ago that were beating. Oh, sorry, mate. Could you talk for 1 second? Sorry.
Yeah, I can do that. Oh well, Pug's obviously having a disagreement with his missus or something like that. Expecting her to leave probably. Right. Anyway, yeah, I think the problem we've got at the moment, that lack of pace in the centre of the defence. You do have a really pacey player, or if you get somebody that's got that ability to just hold up play. Virgil van Dijk's one of the best I've ever seen at it at Liverpool. When they push up high and they get caught on the counter, he's so good at that sort of half backing off. He's making the attacker think about, what do I do? Do I try and take you on, or do I look for the pass? Puts that hesitation into the attack, allows others to get back. If we've got that kind of intelligence in the defence, which I'd have to say I don't think we do at the moment. It would work. And like I said, if you're playing Romero and you've got somebody that's quick on the ball, able to get round to it. Oh, Martin Kingdom. Yeah, absolutely. I'm from Dorset, not Devon, but not so, but same area, mate. Yeah, love it. Me and Mark Cousins, cider country.
Cider, yeah. Sorry about that, mate. The missus has been ordering everything off Amazon, it seems, and they don't just deliver it in one go. It feels like it's 10 intervals throughout the day.
Yeah.
Oh, just a nightmare. You know, I said to her last night, I went, right, we've got no food delivery tomorrow morning. No. Right, we've got no dog food delivery. No. You got anything coming from Amazon? No. Oh, there's another Amazon box. Apologies, sorry about that. Yeah, look, that was my point. I think we'll build and grow towards that. I don't think it's all going to happen in one window. What I did see yesterday, though, was you could clearly see that he wanted Udogie and Royale. You clearly saw the Pep way of inverting into making them midfielders, if you like. Now, that's brilliant. I love that. Udogie, I'll hold opinion on because I can't say I've seen enough of him. Royal can't do that. That guy is, for me, not good enough on the ball to go in and do that. That's a worry for me. And I think that's a position I think we'll see in the next 2 windows get sorted out. What do you make of that?
Yeah, I think spot on. You've got they got that much pace though at the moment with Porro, like I said, Porro and Udogie. I've got no problem with that working there. I always think with when it comes to wing backs, you can teach people to be better defenders, but you can't teach pace and creative ability.
Absolutely,
they're kind of a natural thing. Pace a little bit you can improve, but the vision and creativity and intelligence on the ball, that you've either got that or you haven't.
Yeah.
So, sure. Yeah, you're right there, Martin. Few of us online, regional accents, love it online. But there we go. Yeah, I don't think, I've said it for a long time, I don't rate Royale, I never have done. He's good physically, great, does well there, does well when it's a combative sort of situation where you're relying on strength. He'll put in a shift there, but I just don't think he's a good footballer. And I want to see 11 footballers out on the pitch. I want to see players with talent, technique. As soon as we're linked with Dutch players, I think, yes, get it.
Right. Yeah. Do you know what? A lot to be said for what you've said there, Kuva. What I want to get us to a point is, and I don't know why it's always seen as a negative, because I want what's best for the club. I want to see people who are all technically competent on the ball. I'm not saying that everyone you buy needs to be Kevin De Bruyne. Not everyone needs to be Bernardo Silva, but people that when they receive the ball in those areas, they look naturally comfortable at receiving it on the half turn and going. Now, I'm not knocking Royale. He tried it very well. He's just not a footballer, if that makes sense. Yeah. I think he's okay defensively. I don't rate him. I'm trying to be polite, but he's not the bloke I want receiving the ball in midfield, taking a one touch, spraying it. Do you know what I mean? He's not that guy. So for me, I agree with you. When I see we're linked with people that have come out the final, PSV, Ajax Academy, you go, you're going to be able to play. Spanish midfielders, think, I know you're going to be able to control a football, and it's just what we haven't got. But let's move on from that, but still talking about midfielders. A lot of controversy yesterday about Højbjerg. Now, the videos came out of Postecoglou almost ripping him a new one, getting really, really frustrated on the sideline at him not doing what was asked. Other people said, I thought he had a really good game. It was a game where the number 6 doesn't have a lot to do, and he was the deepest of the midfielders. What would you do with him? Because I don't quite think, again, he's good enough when I'm talking about receiving the ball, starting off play. I don't think he's good enough. Postecoglou looked like he was really frustrated with him. What do you see happening with Højbjerg for this year?
Again, if it was down to me, I'm total football, so I go for the players with the ability on the ball. The obvious way of a comparison for me, when I look at the role Højbjerg does, is Steven Gerrard in his later years, when he used to drop back, sit in front of the defence and just look to marshal what's happening there and then just spray the ball out at will. You get somebody like that in there. That's not a Højbjerg, is it? It's you want somebody that's just a good passer of the ball first is essential. A Pirlo, that would be amazing. But I mean, there aren't too many of those sort of players around.
Definitely not.
When people say things like Ward-Prowse, I could go for that. I think he's an technically excellent player. Can certainly pass the ball. People talk about his free kicks ability, but he doesn't score that many of them. Nobody does. It's just being able to deliver the ball all over the pitch. That is absolutely spot on. I think Ward-Prowse would do really well for us. But there are other options, plenty of them around. I just don't think Højbjerg is as good as people make out for me. I think he's a workhorse. I put him in the Sissoko sort of brand. Same with Royale. They work hard and they're athletic. Do you really want that if you're pretending to be a top team? That sounds more like a team that's just come up from the Championship and needs the hard graft because they haven't got the talent.
Bang on. Do you know the thing is, Kuva? Do you know what will make some people realise how average he is when they see a proper midfielder come in that's got touch, control, vision, technique, passing ability. That's when you go, now we see why he was really limited. It was funny because you know how much Ellie loves. I put a post that I was like, I thought Maddison was excellent. I put last night on one of my YouTube comments. And, I could say anything. I could say, Messi's a great footballer, and people would come back and tell me I'm wrong. So, you plan for the comments. But it was, but she came back and said, Maddison was good. But Højbjerg was really good too. And I put back, no, he wasn't. What? Like, what was he? What's he really good at? Like, why are we championing these really, really average footballers? But I want to move on from Højbjerg because at the moment we all talk, don't we, about if we get in a midfielder, if we get in Kessie, if we get in Sangare and Amrabat. But at the moment we're a bit overinflated in midfield, to be honest, Kuva. Now, whether we like the quality or not, you've got Ndombele and Lo Celso, you've got Sarr, Skip and Højbjerg, Basuma, and then obviously Maddison goes in as one of the 3 midfielders. You've got 7.
Bentancur waiting to come back as well.
And Bentancur. Sorry, I don't know. That finger's gone. Sorry, that's not quite worked, has it? Let's do that instead. And that was really weird. And the problem you've got is, obviously, with no European football, you're going to be playing once a week. Let's be fair. James Maddison's going to be the number 10 in that midfield 3. So you've now got 7 players vying for 2 midfield spots. So when we all talk as fans that we want a new midfielder, surely that's going to be very dependent on the likes of Ndombele, Lo Celso and Højbjerg or going out, right? Can't get another one in, can we?
Well, if we do, if it's an improvement, you get them. But
sure.
It's more to the idea of, are we managing to shift some of these players out? Then, isn't it? You can't imagine we're going to see you keep all that money. You're right. It's a bloated sort of situation there. There are far too many players vying for places. I suppose I could take it back a little bit, saying you need that sort of technically gifted player as a sort of modern number 6, as it were, because of Maddison. If you've got that kind of creativity up the pitch there, you could be looking for just a simple pass, just get it into his feet as quickly as possible. Let him worry about that. So we could be looking at a Wanyama type after all.
Yeah.
The destroyer. Again, though, compare Wanyama to Højbjerg. I know which one I'd take every time. If you're looking for a destroyer, it's not Højbjerg, is it? I think we've got options already. Is that really the priority? No. Yeah, I think everybody's been screaming about it. Get that central defence sorted out. Bit of pace in the team. We've already got some pace in the team, but it's going to be up the other end of the pitch most of the time.
Yeah.
So let's see what happens. Either way, I'm excited about it. I think we're looking good for next season. Win anything doesn't matter so much if I'm enjoying myself. And I just want to see attacking football. I mean, I see Sue Smith's in the comments as usual. Big up, Sue.
Big up,
she
Sue.
and I agree on
Sue.
one thing. One thing. There's only one way to play football, and that's pebble dash the opponent's goal with shots.
For sure. For sure. Listen, I'm torn at the moment because they've 100% given me what I asked for in terms of attacking football and a manager that plays progressively. Of that, I don't doubt. And this is the strange thing, Kuva. I've said all summer, I truly believe that with just 1 or 2, maybe 3 at a stretch additions, we could be a really good team that gets in that top 4. But the 3 that I think we need, the 2 to 3 I think we need, are in such key positions. You know, we can debate all day long about which wide player, who's effective. We're going to score goals regardless.
A Toby, a Jan, and a Musa.
Right.
That's basically it.
For sure. Now, you've got your Van der Ven in, which I think gives you options at the back. I think if you get that number 6 and another centre-half, I truly believe Tottenham will be absolutely transformed and we can all enjoy every single game. At the moment, I get the feeling I'm going to enjoy 90% of our game, but the 10% of the game every week is going to be, oh my God, we can't defend. You know, and that's fine. That's fine. But when it's so easily solvable, that's the frustration for me, Kuva. We're not talking about something here. We're not a team that is going, oh my God, we can't score goals. Because that's the hardest thing to find in world football. Goal scorers, that's the hardest thing to find.
Absolutely.
There are defenders all over.
Always scoring a goal, yeah.
Absolutely. So for me, I'm not torn on, by the way, not torn on Postecoglou at all. I like Postecoglou. I like everything about this guy. He speaks well. He connects with the fans. I'm really, really loving what Postecoglou's doing. I just want to see that centre-back come in. Now, Kuva, moving on from that, he actually turned around yesterday in a press conference after the game and said that we need 2 more defenders that can play in an aggressive style of football. Now, he didn't say he wants aggressive defenders. It's about the aggressive style of the team. So, i.e., we go forward, right, have I got defenders that can cope with it? This is now the big thing, isn't it? You've got 2 names that are linked over here where everyone's going, oh my God, imagine, i.e. a Tapsoba and a Laporte. And then you've got 2 names over here where people go, definitely don't want, and he's okay, in Longley and Tosin Adarabioyo. First of all, do you see any of those 4 coming in? What do you make of them? Is Laporte achievable? Would Longley be a disaster? What do you make of that whole centre-back scenario?
Christ, Laporte, that'll be a great signing, wouldn't it? But,
amazing.
Yeah. Would he come to us?
Would you give credit to Levy? Sorry, just quickly. I've turned around and said openly, I don't think he'll sign for Spurs. But if Daniel Levy gets Laporte over the line, I will go on live on stream and go, do you know what? I've given you a lot of hate, but fair play, that's a top deal.
Yeah, he does. He has occasionally got some things right. And as much as I hate him, he really has. I mean, after all, we did have that summer signing, what was it? Lloris, Dembele and Jan, did they all arrive at the same time?
Yeah, Lloris, Dembele and Jan Vertonghen, I think, were all in the same window, I think.
Yeah, so occasionally he can come out with a real brilliant window, but we just haven't seen too many lately. If he could get somebody like Laporte, wow. Laporte, VDV coming in at the same time, Maddison in the window, those 3 alone that's starting to transform the team, isn't it? Like you said, you're getting a real somebody can dominate the game in midfield. That number 6 we're looking for. We are talking a Musa role. There's nobody like him at the moment I can think of offhand that's gonna quite got that skill set. But if we could get somebody similar, somebody that actually affects the game. You know, sometimes we're in big games and players like Højbjerg just go missing. They're just overrun, bypassed.
Yeah.
I think that's what I always liked about Wanyama is even in the big games, he could step up and absolutely wreck the opposition.
Yeah.
Physically so powerful. If we did get in somebody like that, and a Laporte, or it doesn't have to be a Laporte. Tosin, I think, is a good player, very good player. He could do a good job for us. Tapsoba, obviously. I'll watch a fair bit of the Bundesliga. I've stopped watching almost all the other foreign leagues except for that one. So he is a good player, without doubt. He's got the physicality and everything. He's got the touch of pace. I think he'll do brilliantly for us, but is he going to be too much? We're already spending a lot on VDV, so is it likely? Probably not. I think we'll be looking for a cheaper option. What was that lad from Blackburn? I don't know
Ashley
anything
Phillips.
I've heard the name mentioned. That's it.
Ashley Phillips is. So I did a show with Ashmatic the other week. So by the way, someone's saying Ndombele is finally on the transfer list. I'm not sure where you've seen that. I hope it's true, but we'll come back to that in a minute. Ashmatic had gone away, put a video together on Ashley Phillips and done some real good analysis on him. And again, I'm going to tread cautiously because he's an 18-year-old with talent, right? And we've seen this many times before where they're the next big thing. I'm not going to say that. What I can see from him, he looks like he's got all the attributes of a modern-day centre-half. He's tall, he's strong, good on the ball, good in the air, brings it out, positionally aware. But my overriding factor on anyone like that is he is only 18, right? He is only 18 and he has only played 8 championship games for Blackburn Rovers. So it's a huge step up. But I've got no problem with the club making that type of signing if it's going to mean that, okay, Tanganga moves on, Sanchez moves on, and Dyer and Davis next year move on, and Rodon moves on. I've got no problem with that at all. But you're right. I don't think Tosin's the worst centre-half in the world, by the way. I've got no problem with Tosin coming in. He'll help us out aerially. He's an athlete, and I think we definitely need some athletic centre-halves. Laporte, for me, we talked about this last night, Kuva. Laporte, I think for everyone, I still maintain I don't think he would want to come to Spurs, but I've said, Kuva, I want to be wrong. I can't be more clear about this. I want to go, Spurs have shocked me. I'm wrong. And if I am wrong, there's no mud. It is, yes, we've got a world-class centre-back. Laporte has got 3 things that we need. 1, years of Premier League experience. 2, he's used to playing the high line in a team that play aggressive, progressive football under Pep Guardiola. Yeah? And 3, he's a leader.
Indeed.
He's a leader at the back. For me, imagine, again, I would go, if you get that in, I would go Van der Ven left back. I would go Laporte, left centre-half, Romero, and then a Porro. And what I would do is I would almost flip that when they're going forward, Porro would almost be what Carl Walker does. Bombing forward, Van der Ven shifts over and gives you more of a free at the back. And then the midfielder who sits in front just hovers around to make sure that not too much comes at that free. I think if you had that as your back 4, and if Kane stayed, if you had that, that's a top 4 team.
Interesting. No Adogi.
Only in that scenario. Only in that scenario.
It would be workable. Yeah. I see what you mean. Yeah.
I just don't think you could have Porro and Adogi in the same team.
Of course you can. Just dream a bit, mate.
Kuva.
I think if like I said, I think if you did have that 2 solid centre backs with a Dembele type in front of them, that's your base for it, isn't it? Then you can have those flying wing backs. Yeah. Right.
If Spurs go and get Sangare from Holland, and he sits there, and you've got Laporte and Romero. I'm going, go on, Adoji, you go. Porro, you go at the same time. I'm cool with that. At the moment, we haven't got either of the things needed to make that happen.
Yeah, but some of the pieces are in place.
Sure.
Might have to wait a little while for the others, mightn't we? So,
absolutely.
I'm still encouraged, though. I'm still encouraged. I feel like we do have direction now.
I massively agree. It's amazing, isn't it, Kuva? Because from the first moment that we played that friendly against West Ham, the difference was night and day. Yeah. Now, listen, whether or not we could defend still, obviously that's not going to change overnight. But the difference in football was absolute night and day. And I feel hopeful for the future as long as we keep buying the Van de Ven type players, as long as we keep buying the Maddison type players, people who are good on the ball, want to play progressive football. But it's promising, right?
Yeah, absolutely. As said, I'm always a fan of the Ozzy Ardelius style of football. You just get on the ball and bomb forward. Defending is like an optional thing. It's doesn't matter so much to me. Obviously, you can't go kamikaze like we have at times in the past.
Yeah.
But you're just getting better players. It allows you to do it. I mean, Man City do that by camping in the opponent's half because they've got the players in place and they've got the way of playing. We've got similarities to them in the press, the aggressive high pressing. Just need to be clever with it. One of the things they are best at, and we'd have to learn to do, is those little almost professional fouls, if you like, just to hold up the play when the ball's been turned over and you're caught in their half, just to bring the player down and sneakily, and they get away with it so much doing it. So we'd have to work on that as well. It's all part of the game, but it's high risk and high rewards. That's what I love about it. For as far as I'm concerned, that's the way you should play football. It's about getting people off their seats and loving what they're watching.
I absolutely agree with you. Absolutely agree with you. It's that give or take. It's the age-old thing you and I have talked about many times. When you and I get asked, would you sacrifice bad football to win trophies? Well, first of all, no. And second of all, how many teams play bad football and win trophies? Is that I watched the two best teams in the country play yesterday in the Charity Shield. Neither of them are parking 10 men behind the ball, are they? They're football teams that go and play. Big up, there's 458 of you in the chat. Please smash the like button. Guys and girls, let's get to 8,750 as quickly as possible. We're on 8,743. Let's at least get to 8,750.
This is probably the truth, really, isn't it?
I agree. I'll come to this in 1 second. Can we get 7 subscribers from 478 people? Come on, boys and girls, just be nice. I'll come to that in 1 second. Mr. Post Office has become a YouTube member. Big up, Mr. Post Office. I hope you're well. Don't like the badge in your picture, but hey, it is what it is, and you're very welcome. So thank you for that. And I do have a channel member only show today at 6:15 p.m.
I'll tell you what, mate. There's a few fans from other clubs that come to the channel that are actually quite good at taking part in things. So good luck.
I love it. Do you know what? The fans from the other clubs give me less stick than my own fans.
Yeah.
Right? That's the sad truth of it. A lot of the fans, and then what I get from our own fans is, oh, you only say these things about Spurs so you get fans from other channels. And it's like, if you believe that, you haven't known me. Like, I've been like this since I was like 8. I won't worry about it.
You can see it from the other side of the fence, can't you? Sometimes if you go over and look at people like Lee Gunner, he just says it as it is. It's brutal what he says, and people hate his own. Some of their own,
but he's not wrong most of the time.
But generally, people love it. I mean, that's what you want to hear. The opinion. What's the point of having an opinion that agrees with everything?
Oh God, it would be terrible. By the way, thank you to the person that just subscribed. If we could get 6 more, just to cheer me up after all the horrible comments about my wife and stuff last night. 6 more subscribers, just to show a bit of love. We get to 8,750, and that would be 750 subscribers in 7 days. That would be phenomenal. So thank you. If anyone wants to do that. And big up Wolves Finland, always a big supporter of the channel. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. And thank you very much for being so kind all the time. That comment, sorry, I think I've probably lost it now. But yeah, it basically said that maybe the truth of it more than anything is that Laporte could stay at City, play 10 to 15% of the games this year, pick up another double, treble, whatever it may be. I'm guessing the question there, Kuva, is he's 29 years of age. Let's talk Laporte. He's 29 years of age. Why? Well, first of all, you want to be playing football. But second of all, why do you think he's fallen down the pecking order so badly at Man City in the last few years?
Difficult to say, isn't it?
Yeah.
They've just got an abundance of good players. That's all it comes down to, I suppose. Perhaps he's just lacking a little bit of the athleticism of some of the others. Perhaps it's just the way he plays in that current system. Pep just feels his attributes are just slightly different to the others he's got available. You don't know. It's Pep, isn't it?
This is Kuva, by the way. This comment sums up Kuva.
Absolutely.
This is Kuva football. Kuva ball.
I'm never happy unless there's at least 13 goals in a game. You have no idea how many times I put a bet on for like 7-3 and things like that.
Do you know what?
You get odds of like 800 to 1 and things on some of those.
You can guarantee if every game ends up 8-5 that you're going to be first on match of the day. You're going to be every week. It'll be game of the day on Sky, first on match of the day. Oh God, goal column would be.
Even if you get beaten 8-5, you can go things like. Good hat trick from Kane, though, wasn't it?
Yeah. It would be like goals for 248, goals against 196. You know?
That's old school football. That's like 50s,
mate.
Early 60s, maybe.
Yeah. Thank you to the 3 more people have subscribed. You're very, very kind this morning. 3 more and we get to 8,750. Just so you know, I am trying to get, it's a bold target, trying to hit the 10K by the end of September. And I've moved that target forward to the end of August. So 23 days to get 1,253 subs. I think we can do it. But Kuva, Laporte. Like, Laporte was a shoo-in. 2 years ago at City, Laporte and Diaz shoo-in. Right? Do you remember? It was like, oh my God, they definitely need a centre-half. They bought Diaz, Laporte, great. Since then, Stones has jumped him. Akanji has jumped him. Nathan Ake has jumped him, right? But Diaz was already in front of him. Carl Walker sometimes even goes into the back in front of him.
Yeah.
They've just signed Vardiol for £77 million, who's going to go in front of him. Would he want to come to a Tottenham? Or do you think other bigger clubs will come in for him?
I could imagine him getting into an awful lot of teams around the world. So I would imagine a bigger club would go for him. The thing is, who can afford him now out of all those bigger clubs? Because most of the other leagues are broke. We are the league with all the money at the moment. So it's other than the likes of Bayern, Barcelona, Madrid, maybe a Juventus. I don't know what their finances are like at the moment. There aren't that many that are going to afford somebody like him. So money-wise, that puts us in with a chance, even if it's a slim one. But like I said, if he's going to, or like the comment said, if he can stay at City, get a treble by just playing bit part, it's quite appealing. The question is then, how much does he fancy just playing week in, week out in a team that's trying to get somewhere? Because that can be a big appeal to a lot of players as well.
Well, this was the debate last night, and look, I was just sitting on the fence. Listen, I'm all for it. Yeah, as I said, if I wake up tomorrow morning and I see that Spurs are giving a medical to Aymeric Laporte, first of all, pinch me because I won't believe it. Second of all, what I can't do then is be annoyed because that is what I want my club to do. They're the sort of players I've wanted my club to go after, not the Rodens, not the Sanchez's. That's the type of player I've wanted my club to go after. If you can sell it to him, he's going to play every game, right? He's going to play every game. You can even, I don't care, give him the captain's arm. I don't care. Get him through the door. I think an absolute, tell me if I'm going overboard here, Kuva. I think an absolute game changer that puts us fourth.
Why not, mate? Why not? This coming season, there's going to be more competition than there's ever been for those top 4 places.
Sure.
It's going to be really difficult no matter what. Even if we buy well, it's going to be a tough run. Because you face it, what we've got, City, Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea, Man United. Who am I missing? Villa are coming up now.
Villa, Newcastle, Brighton.
Yeah.
Good teams.
I'd imagine Brighton aren't going to be pushing top 4, though. They keep losing too many key players to keep pushing forward, don't they? They hold.
But they keep
own.
Doing it though, right?
They're holding a really good level. Yeah. But you can't see them going further, can you? I think if that's the case, top 4 would be suddenly. It actually is becoming like a trophy in many ways because now it is difficult to achieve.
Yeah. And the one thing we've got, Kuva, and again, I'm going to caveat this before I start sounding too positive and people call me a flip-flop. I think the one thing we have got, if we got in a player like Laporte and sorted out that back 4, we're playing once a week. And I think that's what Tottenham and Chelsea have got this year. I put Tottenham and Chelsea together. I see the clubs. Listen, I think Chelsea can attract better players for sure. But Chelsea and Tottenham are very similar. Both have bad years. Both have got brand new managers that like to play a pressing brand of football. Both are sorting out a bit of a mess. Both are going to play once a week without European football. And I think most fans, now that the whole, we're not in Europe anymore, it's annoying. I think most people can take a step back and say, this could be a good thing. Just for 1 year, this could be a good thing to allow us to move forward. Brighton, I think, are a brilliant team. Really well run. I think Aston Villa are coming up on the rails and have been very good lately. Newcastle as well, very good lately. The problem those 3 teams have got is when was the last time any of those 3 were in Europe and had to balance midweek with weekend? Right? Yeah, that's the test for those clubs, right? That's the test. Spurs and Chelsea haven't got that. I'm not saying that automatically puts us above them, but surely it gives you a bit of an energy boost to know that, right?
Well, see, this is why I wouldn't have minded like Conference League or something like that, because I see nothing wrong with doing what Harry Redknapp used to do, for example. Just send all the kids out to play those games. You give those youngsters competition in European competition. It's a good thing as well. You don't have to worry about. Then you keep your first team squad on the training pitch where you want them, preparing for games and getting used to the new systems of play and getting players settled in properly. The trouble is with all these pre-season tours all over the world, traveling constantly. How much time does the manager get on the training pitch with all the players? It's not as much as he would have liked, I'm sure. So, not having a little bit of Europe will work in that way, without doubt. If it helps to bed in this style of play and we're getting better and better throughout the season, it can only be good, can't it?
It can indeed.
The other thing I'd say about Laporte is not just him playing on the pitch, but it's the fact you've got him in the squad. He's there in training. All these young players we're getting in.
For sure.
How much would they learn from somebody like that? It doesn't have to be a Laporte. Even if we got an aging, really good pro, there's plenty around to pick anyone in particular, but we've done it in the past. Getting like a Gallas or somebody like that. They might be past their best, but the players around them are learning from what their experience and how to do things, and you're shaping your youngsters for the future. With Phillips coming in, if he's got, suddenly if the likes of a Laporte there, he's going to be thinking, wow, I'm going to get so much out of this bloke. And it's that age and experience that helps to shield them as well.
Of course,
especially if you end up playing them together.
Of course it is. Absolutely. Thank you. Guys, just 2 more subscribers. That would be absolutely wonderful. 2 more subscribers to hit 8750. I've only asked for 7 throughout this show. 448 of you in here. Let's do it, people. 2 more. And I'll put the link in the chat. No, I won't. That's the complete wrong thing. How about some kind of weekly panel comprising of fans from outside the top 6? Yeah, it's difficult to actually find fans from outside those clubs that have got free time to do a panel. You will love that Crystal Palace fan. You are talking about D, who I speak to on WhatsApp. who tells me every Palace player is 80 million plus if you want to buy them. Yeah, D is absolutely deluded, but a really good lad. But he comes at Spurs like, you don't win trophies. And I'm like, hang on, you're Crystal Palace. I think the thing you've only won is the Zenith data. Do you remember that, Kuva? The Zenith data?
Yeah.
Right. Big up to Christopher LaPlante, who's become a YouTube channel member. Big up, Christopher. Thank you very much. Welcome to the Football Heritage TV family. And there is a channel member only show once a week, starting the first ever one is today at 6:15. So come and join us for that. I'll put the link out there a bit later. So welcome to you. Margot Robbie, the future Mrs. Savva, has put a super sticker in. Thank you very much, Margot Robbie. Well, apparently my wife's going to die, so you know it's leaving a little bit of a gap. So welcome to the family, Margot Robbie. Thank you very much.
She's literally buying her way in here.
Yeah. I'm quite happy because I reckon Margot's got a few £1 million behind her, and I wouldn't ever have to do any work. I'll be kept. I'll be well happy with that. Imagine being a kept man, Kuva, and your wife is Margot Robbie. Can you? You've hit the jackpot, yeah.
Time to go to bed. Oh, go on then.
Yeah. Come home. Oh, normally I stay at the pub with the boys, but you are Margot Robbie. I'm coming back. Big up to whoever created
the game's on or not, doesn't it?
Yeah. Don't watch Spurs. Come to bed with me. Oh, all right. You are Margot Robbie. Big up to whoever's created that account. Good fun. Tom Whitten has said, big up to you, Savva. Spurs fan from California. Big up to you. Must be very early there. Thoughts on Sonny playing in Kane's spot if he departs? I'll tell you what, Kuva and I can talk about this in a second. So thank you very much. We will talk about this right now. And Tigaro, massive supporter of the channel, always has been. Single parent theory, said personal attacks against any content creator or their family is absolutely abhorrent behavior. Dear trolls, keep the hate and misery to yourselves. Yeah, the worst thing is one of the people I see that keeps trolling is someone I actually worked with when I worked abroad 20 years ago. That's the worst thing about this. But hey, it is what it is. These people are trolls. You invite them on to have that debate. They don't want to have it because they don't want people to see what the face of evil looks like. But thank you so much.
Do you know the worst thing about the trolling is those ones that come on and they don't even make it funny. If it's funny, I think it's got value in it.
I completely agree with you. There are so many accounts about me and Henry, right? Like Henry the Hoover.
Yeah.
And there was one last night, Savva Hot Spice, where they've dressed me up as a Spice Girl. Those are funny. Cool. When people are coming into my chat talking about my wife dying, I don't quite find that very funny. And do you know what? What I would say is this, without going deep on things, you never know what someone's going through in their own personal life. You never know. One day, those people will say that sort of thing to somebody who might not be as mentally strong. And if you're the person that tips that person over the edge, how are you going to live with that guilt? That's all I'm going to say without going too deep in it. Don't be that person that makes somebody do something silly and it's on your, blood on your hands. By the way, I'm not going to kill myself if that's what anyone's thinking. I'm not. I'm just saying, don't be that person.
It's along the same lines as with family, isn't it? The last words you should always say before going to bed or somebody going out to work is, "Oh, love you," because you never know when it's the last time you say something to them.
Absolutely. Never go to bed on an argument, even if you are furious with that person. Love you. We'll talk in the morning, right? Just never.
I'd love Margot Robbie to be furious with me while going to bed.
I wouldn't mind having a debate with Margot Robbie about whether a ball over the top of the defence is good for Spurs or not. Sakinelli said, be cautious with Nat Phillips. He could be your Rob Holding, same fee. I think you mean Ashley Phillips. Nat Phillips is the one that went to Liverpool, if I'm right. Looking at Ashley Phillips, though, he looks completely different in every way, style, shape and form to what Rob Holding was. I don't understand when people make these links between players who have nothing to do with each other. Like, they're not even similar. Ashley Phillips is a very strong, quick, athlete. Rob Holding for me was more of a rigid, old school centre back who's not that great. But it is what it is.
He's about 6'3", 6'4", something
yeah,
like that.
He's a big lad.
Yeah,
he's a big lad.
What I did here that was a glowing endorsement for him was people at Blackburn saying that he is basically a player that's playing well beyond his years. He looks like a seasoned pro at 18.
Yeah,
that really does speak volumes.
Some
players just manage it, don't they? Like Wayne Rooney, for example.
Have you seen Kuva? So there's a Blackburn Rovers fan, right, who's got about 48,000 subscribers on YouTube, did a 10-minute rant on his channel on Saturday morning about Blackburn are disgraceful. This is the best player since, I can't remember it was since, but this is the best player since this player that the academy's brought through. We've lost him for £2 million. This is absolutely shocking. Hang your heads in shame. And I sat there and went, okay, all right, well, maybe let's do a bit more research on this guy because they seem really, really upset to be losing him. But check out Southview Coys. Ashmatic put a really good video together, guys, on this lad. For me, you want Romero, Van der Ven, one other, whether that's a Tapsoba, a Laporte, whoever, a Toasting. Then I want Phillips as my fourth choice. There you go. That four. Slowly ship out Roden, Tanganga, Sanchez, Davis and Dyer next year. And you've got yourself four good centre-halves there. You've got Dorrington coming through in the background. That is how I think we should work. Let's talk about that super chat, Kuva. I'll hand this to you. Look, I don't want a whole is Harry Kane leaving or not. The debate has been done to death. Let's just assume we wake up tomorrow, Harry Kane has gone. Just hypothetical people, don't all shout at me. All right. Should Sonny then go through the middle? Would that suit him better?
No. It would have last season, the season before, but now we're playing with getting so many balls into the box. It's more suited to Richarlison, I've got to say. It's just he's got that aerial ability and the strength to hold off a few challenges and get in where it hurts. Sonny's not really that type of player, but drifting in for a bit of support, he can still score a lot of goals this season. I think the point is we just got it covered. If Kane isn't playing for any game, for whatever reason, whether he's sold, whether he's injured, we've got players in there. We're going to score goals. I'm not worried.
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely. Just quickly, before I come back to this. Sorry, United Red. Hang on. Can we take a step back? It's mad that Chelsea and Spurs are using this one game a week excuse. So if both get top six, that's a flop of a season. Then with one game a week, in fact, you should be competing for the league. No. United Red, let's bring this back to a mature level, right? Just because Spurs are playing once a week doesn't mean we're ready to win a league title, right? There's still this little thing called quality, right? You've got to have the quality to win a league title. Same with Chelsea. Both clubs aren't in a position to go and win a league title. I don't think anyone's using it as an excuse. I think we're actually doing the opposite, using it as a positive that both clubs have had a bad year, need a reset, and both clubs need to trim their squad, right? So, I mean, Kuva, am I going mad? Should Spurs or Chelsea be challenging for a title because they're playing once a week?
I think if you'd got a settled squad that the manager's been there for 2 or 3 years, something like that, sure. But we're talking about the first season for both of these managers. You've got to have a bedding in period where the system of play gets ingrained into the players. This isn't a season where you think, oh yeah, got to be going for the league title. No, 3 years time, if it's all working out under Postecoglou, then and we're playing wonderful stuff, sure, you should be looking for that kind of thing. Well, if you're not aiming for the league title eventually, you're not doing your job at a club like us. Even a club like Villa and Newcastle, all those years where they were doing nothing, they should have been right up there challenging at the top. With big clubs we're talking about here. So big clubs playing elite football, elite brand of football in the richest league in the world, you should be aiming to win the league. It's that simple. Yeah. But you've got to realise how far along the road you are. And we've just started under this new manager. So have Chelsea under Posh.
Yeah, I feel like this is just a crazy fan at the moment. Like, if you're playing one game a week, you should finish high in the league. No excuses. Look, I can't explain this any better. You can play one game a week, but Burnley are going to play one game a week. Should Burnley be winning the league? Everton are going to play one game a week. Should they be winning the league? Yeah, come on. We've got to have a little bit of
context, isn't it?
Of
Context.
course it is. Of course it is. But I mean,
Chelsea, for example, I think that what I've seen with us, I've been impressed with so far how quickly we've adapted to the new style of play. Chelsea, I think, are going to have a harder time. It's going to take Pochettino a few months. I think he's going to be under immense pressure to start with. But they have got a way of playing he likes to get into the team, and they will improve. So I can't see how they would be expected to challenge for a league title this season. If he's still there in 3 years, yeah, of course. They should be definitely in the mix for it.
Yeah. No, I agree. I just think it's madness. For me, this is the problem. You got lots of football fans like that immediately, everyone should be winning the league. Like, Man City fans right now will be saying, yeah, we're going to win the league. Arsenal fans are demanding, Arteta's been here 4 years, we have to win the league. Man United fans are saying, right, Ten Hag's had a year now, we should be winning the league. Right? You've got this guy going, Spurs and Chelsea should be winning a league. You know, Liverpool will go, okay, we've just sorted out on in midfield. We should be winning a league. It's absolutely madness to suggest that
I think with Arsenal, they should be looking at winning it.
I just don't think they're as good as City. I think that's the problem.
I don't think they are either. But you look at what they did for so long last season, you should say they should build on that and be challenging again, shouldn't they?
I agree. They should be challenging again. I think there's a huge difference, though. The problem is, I don't think it matters how good you are if you're not as good as the team above you. And I think the difference with Man City, people like I saw Arsenal fans coming into my chat yesterday going, there you go, we're going to win the league. We beat City today. And I'm like, yeah, but let's not use that as the benchmark, a penalty shootout. The difference for me is doing it over a full season.
Yeah.
And now Arsenal got Champions League. I'm really interested to see how they balance that. I think they'll be up there again.
The league table is the most accurate barometer for how good a club you are, isn't it? 38 games, you're the best of the lot if you're top.
Yeah. But yeah, and by the way, I thought this guy was really impressive yesterday. I think, unfortunately, Arsenal have nabbed themselves a top centre-half. I think this guy will go on to be one of the world's best. Every time I watch him, I'm really, unfortunately, impressed.
He hasn't got any weaknesses, has he?
He's tall, he's strong, he's quick, he's powerful, he stays on his feet, he's good in the air, he's good with the ball at his feet. I hate it, but
let's just hope they suddenly decide Rob Holding's his best partner also.
Absolutely. Guys and girls, just in case anyone did see, England have just beaten Nigeria in the Women's World Cup on penalties. England missed their first penalty, but then stuck away the next 4. So they have gone through. Well done to the Lionesses. 2 more subscribers, guys and girls. That's all we're asking for. That's not a lot, is it, Kuva? Just 2 more? Not asking for a lot. 2 more.
Yeah. So he sells out. Come on.
Yeah, come on. That's all you got to do. 2 more. And I'll put the link in the chat. And if 2 more people would be so kind, that's all we're asking for. Only going to go for another 15 minutes this morning, people. I'm on with Saeed at 12. And then I'm doing a show at 2 p.m. with Kaz from Never a Foul. He's a Man United fan. Want to get his take on Man United for the coming season, his take on Spurs, and then his take on the Premier League in general. And we'll make that a weekly show. Tomorrow, I've got Daps, who's a Man City fan. Tuesdays will be Man City. Wednesdays, we've got Liverpool. Thursday, we've got Arsenal. And check out me and Henry. No, that's awful grammar. That's terrible. Check out Henry and I. Is that right? Yeah, check out Henry and I.
Look what Henry and me done.
Look, me and Henry didn't we? We are starting a new show, not on our channel, with Lee Judges from Arsenal Fan TV. You all know who he is. It's going to be me, Dan Potts, Henry, and Lee Judges doing a show about Spurs and Arsenal. So stay tuned for that. It's not on my channel. It's not my doing. I've just been invited to it each Thursday night. Kuva, sorry, we were talking about Sonny, Richarlison being a bit more suited. With that in mind, what do you make of Sonny? Because I'm concerned. I'm concerned that in this type of formation, I don't think Postecoglou just wants a player who cuts in and whips the ball in the net. I think he wants his wide men to offer a little bit more give and go, a little bit more link up with the fullback. I worry about Sonny in this formation. I just do. I'm not saying it's sell him or anything. I just worry. What do you make of it?
Not a worry to me. I think we got used to that standard play, didn't we? The last few seasons of ball goes into Kane's feet, he whips it over the top for Sonny to run onto. It was a standard thing. Sonny had a brilliant season doing that. The season before last. I'm not worried because when you've got a player that is capable of striking the ball with that kind of accuracy when he's playing well and finding the net so regularly, he's going to get 5 or 6 chances a game. I fancy him to score a couple.
Sure.
I think it's not a worry. He's just a good footballer, is Sonny. He had a difficult season last season. He said it himself. He was struggling, not doing as well as he thought he would. But we weren't creating an awful lot of chances last season. I think with the sheer volume of shots flying in from all over the place and the people join in with the attack, I think he could thrive off it. Cutting in and having a shot sounds wonderful. Him and Maddison doing it, Kane doing the same. Chuck them all in the box, get in and around it and let fly. I fancy him to score about 20.
Mm-hmm.
Why not?
Yeah, I mean, listen. I hope you're right. I just worry about his lack of ability in link-up play. I really do worry about it. I watched him yesterday again. He's one of those that every time he came inside, if he didn't have to shoot, his passing is sloppy. I worry. It's just me. I just worry. I feel like the best of him is more in a Jose system where he's playing in a 2 with Kane. I'm just concerned.
Also, I was going to say also, traveling all over the place pre-season, he's not into a rhythm yet.
Sure.
Wait and see a little bit. Yeah, I can see why you have concerns because we have seen Sonny at his best and know how amazing that can be. And he just hasn't looked at that quite at that peak for a little while. I agree with this as well. I'd say Sonny is probably better through the middle, isn't he?
And that's the difficulty for me in this scenario. I think, and again, when I say this, people will go mad. I think Solomon is more the type of wide player that Postecoglou is used to. A little bit more, can go on the outside, can come on the inside, wants to link up more and more, wants to whip low balls into the box. Sonny, for me, I don't think he's a natural wide man in terms of beat a man, lovely little ball into the box. I think that's where he struggles, but a wonderful finisher who I'm not sure how he'll be utilised in this team. I could be massively wrong. I hope I am, Kuva. When I say these things, I hope Sonny scores 20 league goals this season. But
I had this same thought. It's like it's not quite the round peg for the round hole, is he?
No.
He's just a quality peg, but you're trying to think, how does it go? I think we're just going to have to wait and see because, like I said, if you are getting players in and around the box and you are looking to create chances, you want somebody with that sort of finishing ability. Because when he's on song and he's hit form, he is lethal. The amount Kane can be as well with those sort of the old Harry Kane way of scoring goals, where he just hit the ball into the side netting, into the inside, just inside the post. It was like quality, and Sonny did it all the time. So those almost showreel of him just bending the ball in from the edge of the box into the far corner, isn't there? If the balls are going to be in that area and he's going to be in that area, there's goals happening.
Yeah. Listen, I think it's going to be interesting, and obviously, look, I'm not going to open up the Kane can of worms, but I think a lot of this all depends, doesn't it, on Kane? I think we could see a very different way of playing without Kane. Is that going to utilise Son? Is it going to utilise Richarlison? Does that mean more game time for Solomon and Kulu and Perisic? There's options there, which I think is the beauty that we haven't had for a while.
If Kane stays, I'll back him to score an awful lot of goals.
Sure.
If he goes, you know what? I'm going to back Richarlison and Sonny to take up the slack. I think they'll get a lot of goals between them. Even Richarlison. People don't rate Richarlison, but I think if you stick him in this system where he's going to be... getting in there at the 6-yard box. This is something Kane didn't get to do too often over previous seasons because he'd have to drop back and take part in the build-up. If Richarlison might not need to do that so much. He can play as the advanced forward and just get in there where it hurts. And he's a good bloke to have in there if you're slinging the ball into the box.
For sure. Do you know, I think the key thing is, and again, if Kane was to go, we're not getting in that debate, but if Kane was to go, I think what people don't realise now with this team is that there's not just one avenue to go. Let's be fair, the last few years, the avenue to go has been Kane dropping deep, swivelling, trying to put Son in behind, or Kane, or the other way around, right? It's been very much that's the link up. This year going forward, you're going to have Maddison doing bits from midfield, Basuma driving forward, Kulu or Solomon out here, or Porro. Solomon, Sonny, Richarlison out here, Richarlison, Son, Kane in it. Do you know what I mean? You're going to have lots and lots of chances. I feel like when people say we're going to lose 30 goals, I don't believe we will. I believe that all the players that weren't in the box last year because of the way we played will grab 5, 6, 7 goals each. Yeah. I believe that Sonny, don't get me wrong, I always think Sonny will get 15 minimum. I think he'll get 15 minimum. James Maddison, look at the goals he's put in. He's put 10 a season every season for the last 4 years. That's 10 goals that we didn't have from midfield last year. You know, so I'm not worried about that end of the pitch. I'm truly not, Kuva. I'm really, really not.
Yeah, I agree.
Really
I
not.
agree.
And I think Richarlison would be better.
It's back to what we were talking about earlier. Get the 2 central defenders in and a holding midfielder in front of them that basically act as the plug to stop the opposition breaking on us. We will have the pace in the wide areas to come back and recover and help out the defence. But at the end of the day, we are looking to play in the opponent's half of the pitch, aggressively win the ball there, and just keep pebble dashing that goal. Yeah. I'm just really looking forward to it. Feel so energised for this season coming up. And funny enough, it's all been on the transfer window that's done it. I'm starting to think, you know, even if some of those defenders aren't coming in that we hoped are, I'm looking at the likes of Solomon, which I thought, it's a bit underwhelming at the time. But then I thought about it. He seemed okay. Then I watched him and I thought, wow, this kid's really got something, hasn't he?
He's got that. Somebody described him yesterday as like a fly. Like he's always, when we go forward, he's there buzzing about somewhere. He wants to, he doesn't go missing. He wants to get on the ball. Yeah. He wants to make things happen. And what I like about this guy is, as I said, he'll get to the byline or he'll cut in on both feet. And he puts a lot of balls low into the box.
Yeah.
And when a ball goes low into the 6-yard box, you've always got half a chance. Somebody gets there, a defender miskicks it, you know.
It's also, which ties into, yes, Sonny can play as the centre forward. If you're going to have a winger that's putting it
or
in
low,
you just have to be quicker. Yeah.
Right. I agree. That's what I said. Like, people keep having a go at me. They'll always have a go at me. But like, oh my God. Like the guy yesterday was having a right go at me in the chat who said, Savva, without Kane last year, we get relegated. And I was like, look, maths doesn't apply the same way. And what I mean by that is you can't just say if a player doesn't play, those 30 goals that were scored go completely from your goal scored tally. Because if Kane doesn't play, all of the minutes, you add up how many minutes Kane plays a season, those minutes get spread about. And somebody else is in those positions. Now, they're not Kane. I'm not saying that person's going to grab 30 goals. But now, all of a sudden, the tactics change because you're not just going through Kane. And you're going, right, Sonny, step up. Richarlison, I need you to get me 10 league goals. There's your challenge, 10 league goals. I don't care. 3 of those could be against Luton away, Luton at home. I don't care. Sorry, Luton, if any Luton fans are watching. Right, you get me 10. Maddison, you get me 10. Sonny, you step up, get an extra 5. Now, all of a sudden, it's like that 30 goals has gone. And that is why I know, like yesterday, it was a great thing that Kane scored for, always is, but was the worst thing because straight away people coming off going, oh my God, but what would we do without him? Well, you know, Scarlett got 1 chance, 1 goal. Another person in that position would have scored Kane's header. Another person would have scored that penalty. Do you know what I mean? So I just don't think it's the doom and gloom is my overriding feeling in all of this.
I thought the best season we had in recent years in terms of the way we were playing back in the Pochettino era. We had one season, I think we had 5 different players that had gone to the 10 goal mark, if I remember rightly.
Right. Okay. Was that Ali, Ericsson, Kane's son, and
oh, who was maybe it was 4 I'm thinking of. Anyway, the point being they were all spread over the team. That's as it should be. Unfortunately, I hate saying it, but that's what Arsenal have been doing really well. People are saying, "Oh, Jesus, what a waste of money." No, he isn't. He fits in beautifully with what they're doing up front there. The goals are spread all over there. Martinelli, Saka, Odegaard, they're all chipping in. It's a good functioning team. Man City at their best could play without a striker because they know the goals are spread everywhere.
Yeah, absolutely. By the way, Fabrizio Romano has just announced that Chelsea are about to open talks with Tyler Adams in the next few days as they have hit his 20 million relegation clause. Good player, Tyler Adams. I think that's a good footballer in midfield for them.
Do they need it?
I think they need some midfielders. I think they desperately need some midfield reinforcement.
Possibly.
They've bought a lot of young centre mids who all seem to be going out to Strasbourg, the club that Bowley's bought. But I think, for me, Tyler Adams, I'd take Tyler Adams.
Maybe Strasbourg Steve has had a word in with him.
Strasbourg Steve. I love Strasbourg Steve. He is such a good guy. Apart from when he agreed to come on a stream with me the other day and then fell asleep before the show started and didn't turn up.
There's people that are obsessed with football when they're at his level.
I mean, if you're in a chat, Strasbourg Steve, what do you make? Let us know in the chat, people. What do you make? Are you all right to go for 10 more minutes, Kuva? You all right to go to 10-2?
Yeah, fine.
Yeah. What do you make of Tyler Adams, people? Because for me, I whenever I've seen him for the USA, I've been impressed. Whenever I watched Leeds, it looked like to me that he was the one that was athletic. He was making things happen. He was, busy in that midfield. I feel like he'd be a really good replacement for a Højbjerg, if I'm honest. That athletic, that presence. But, are they, Chelsea are still going after Moises Caicedo as well. So if they've got Moises Caicedo, Tyler Adams, Enzo Fernandez, Gallagher, Chukwuemeka, it'd be interesting to see what he does there, Poch, wouldn't it? I mean, I know it's not our club, but it will be interesting to see.
It unfortunately for Poch, he's arrived at Chelsea a little bit too late in some aspects, because what would he have done without having a Kante in the team still? That's your holding midfield, because he's so much more than just a holding midfielder, isn't he?
That's just 2 players in one, isn't it?
Great player.
Yeah.
Probably one of the most underrated great players the Premiership's seen, I think.
Yeah, for sure. There are certain players I think that go under the radar, and I know that sounds strange because he's won so much. Another one for me, Michael Carrick, for me, is one of the most underrated midfielders the Premier League has ever seen. Not many midfielders can say that they were the main midfielder for a decade at a Man United team that were winning everything.
Yeah.
He just doesn't get talked about enough. And for me, I just wish that England point, that one of the England managers in that decade had the balls to go, you know what, Gerrard and Lampard, you're not playing together. It doesn't work. Carrick, you're playing. Or said, you know what, Gerrard and Lampard, you can play together, but in a 3-man midfield, and you need Carrick sitting behind you. I just think it's a shame.
You'll be too young to remember the '86 World Cup, won't you? So
I remember it was the first World Cup I watched, but I was very, very young. But I've watched it back.
But anyway, build up to that World Cup. We had the midfielders always Brian Robson and whoever. It was always Brian Robson, Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
In that World Cup, he got injured and he was out of the running. And Peter Reid came in, and Peter Reid and Glenn Hoddle formed a brilliant midfield partnership at that point. You had all the sensible sort of covering spade work done by Peter Reid, who was a good footballer in his own right. It released Hoddle to do all the creative stuff. He didn't have that when Brian Robson was playing, because it was all about him at that point. So sometimes those underrated players actually make the team better than the one that catches the eye.
Kuva, do you know what? There's a lot to be said. I think a lot of the time when not Spurs fans, football fans talk about players, we look at the name. And I think sometimes the player that's not as good but suits the system better could be more effective. And this is where I think Postecoglou will come good for us. A lot of people straight away, I'm seeing people comparing Van der Ven to Sanchez. And you're like, hang on, have you watched him play? Like, but sometimes it's about finding the player that suits the system. Wanyama, Palacios, they weren't these glamorous names. We got one from Wigan. Did we get Wanyama from Celtic or Southampton? Which order was that? Southampton?
Southampton, surely.
Southampton. And then I think and at the time people going, oh, they're playing for really bad clubs, but come in the right peg for the right hole. And I think sometimes that is so much more important than just going for top names. And I do honestly believe fans forget that. So I completely get what you're saying about Hoddle and Peter Reid. But listen, it'll be interesting to see what they do. Strasbourg Steve is in the chat. Of course he is. As I said, Tyler Adams is awesome. The most consistent American in Europe right now. Stamina, strength, tackles, interceptions. He's a tone setter, someone you want to go to war with. I like that. A tone setter. I like that. That's really, really good. Someone said, are we really going to go through a whole stream without Savva mentioning Ginola? I mean, I would have if you hadn't have put this in. But no, there he is. The great man. Listen.
Love him.
Don't. You'll get me started.
Yeah. I mean, happy times being a Spurs fan. If we weren't winning anything back then. Well, actually, we did get a League Cup, didn't we? With him there. Yeah. But
he was in an awful team. He was in an awful team.
But it was a reason to go and watch the team. I love players like that. Van der Vaart as well. You just love watching him play.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I had no need to mention him. And then somebody says his name. I mention him. Listen, I'll argue this with anyone. I miss the days of having a David Ginola in this team. I have not seen a David Ginola since. I've seen Bale, a very different player, but I've not seen a winger since that has outrageous skill and backs it up. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've not seen that as Spurs since Kuva.
How dare you diss Nasser Chadli?
He
was all right for us,
Nasser
actually.
Chadli.
Yeah, he's all right. Yeah.
I think Nasser Chadli is one of those players, you accept him for what he is. He is your solid 7 out of 10 every game.
Oh, what's
Does
that
a job
player that got 10 goals in the season?
Oh, Kuva. Somebody in the chat will check that out. But
I've just got it wrong, and it was just 4 players, though.
It's interesting you say that, because it's not just Arsenal, is it? Realistically, when you look across the Premier League, other than Spurs and Man City, no one's got a 30-goal a season, man. No one. Hardly anyone across Europe has 30-goal a season, men. And these teams find a way of scoring goals. Brighton, Alexis McAllister was their top goal scorer with 12. 12, right? Yeah. Goals from everywhere. And that is what Postecoglou will do. And I truly believe when Spurs fans just say, without Kane, we're getting relegated. We're not. I know he's not gone.
Who was that forward that Brighton used to have that was so bad that only Everton would buy them?
Was it Neil Maupay?
That's him.
Neil Maupay.
What, about 5 goals spread over 8 years or something? It's
like Shane Long.
And yet Brighton were playing great stuff and scoring goals.
Isn't it funny? Some of these players, though, don't score anywhere they go. Steve Hodge, I remember him. Players don't don't score wherever they go, but get moves. Like Shane Long, I seem to remember constantly getting moves, to Premier League clubs. Scored like 3 a season. But people liked him because his work rate, he'd run, he'd lay out on a plate for other people. You know, it's all about how do they fit into the team. Here's an unsavoury character. Philip P. has said, morning, you two glorious gentlemen. Does the return of @Kuva99 and @Savva wearing a white T-shirt and the dawn of Angeball signal tiny reasons to hope for an entertaining season?
Absolutely. It's that white T-shirt.
I don't wear white a lot. I'll be honest, I don't wear white a lot. But, yeah, There was no reason behind it, but big up to Phil P. You still owe me a Nando's, mate. Yeah, we saw it. Yep. Shazwell Stevens said Weston McKennie, Yunus Musa and Tyler Adams ran the show for America against England. Yeah, Weston McKennie I've never been on board with, I'll be honest. I feel like there's a lot of fuss about him. Yunus Musa, I'll be honest, I don't know a lot about. But Tyler Adams I am a fan of. Len Wambo has said why people judge players on what they saw under negative managers. There is a lot to be said for that, but there is also a lot to be said that top players will stand out no matter which manager they play for. Top players will show in a season why they are a top footballer. We can blame the manager a lot, but top players stand out. There's a question. There's a question.
Oh, I love both of them.
Oh, mate, just class, weren't they both?
Yeah.
Both. I'm having one on the right, one on the left.
If it was a choice for building a team, as much as I love Ginola, I'd still take Chrissy Waddle.
Oh, I'm taking
because he just kept going. You get 20 years out of him.
Me and Kate are taking the sexy bastard. We're taking.
You're right though. Stick them on both wings, start they?
Do you know what? I'll tell you what I saw Chrissy Waddle do right the way up until he was at the end of his career playing with clubs like Sheffield Wednesday. Even at that age, the ability to drop a shoulder and leave the fullback for dead was. You don't see it a lot now. You don't see many wingers now. It's more pace. Waddle wasn't. I'm not saying he was a slouch. He wasn't the quickest, but he'd go like gone, and Beckham to a degree, not the quickest, but had that knack of dropping the shoulder, whip the ball in. Different player. Ginola for me though just had everything. And it was so sexy. Yeah, I love my David. I love. Listen, I think the one thing that will always make him stand out for me is winning double player of the year playing for Tottenham.
Yeah.
That is. And by the way, back then, this was not telling you, Kuva, and you know this. Back then, this was a Spurs team that sort of filtered between 11th and 14th. Like it wasn't a Spurs team that were getting Champions League. And can you imagine Ginola whipping balls into Kane?
Yes. I usually wake up to the view of a tent.
You disgusting individual. Disgusting. I can only imagine Ginola whipping balls in, right? Was right foot, left foot. It didn't matter. The guy was sensational, strong, flat-footed as well. A very flat-footed footballer, but if you gave him the ball and there were 3 or 4 players around him, you knew he'd come out the other side with a football.
Yeah, that's right.
Like it was just, I miss those players. I miss that type of footballer in the world today. I really do. I
think that's kind of the hope with Solomon, isn't it? He's that kind of player. He wants the ball. He wants to get it and do something with it. Let's see how he comes along. That could be the hidden gem out of all our signings, really, couldn't it?
Could be, absolutely. Let's see. By the way, I'm on Fabrizio Romano's page last now, and he said Edson Alvarez to West Ham. Here we go. Good player, this lad. I think if West Ham will be very happy, not happy that Rice has gone, but the fact that Rice has gone, they've got 105 million, and then they can build with players like Edson Alvarez in his place. I think West Ham, not that I support them, but loads of my best mates do. I think if West Ham getting Harry Maguire to play in a back three, stick Edson Alvarez in centre mid, maybe with like a McTominay as well, I think they could be a really awkward team to play against. I think their fans will hate the football, but I think they're going to be you could see, they brought in all the flair players, the Paquetas, the Skamakas, the Cornets. That's not David Moyes. That's not David Moyes football. But if I said to you, Kuva, 3 things go together: a manager, a player, and a team. McTominay and Maguire as the player, Moyes as the manager, West Ham as the team. I just think it goes, doesn't it?
Yeah, as long as he's got the giant player in the team, then he's all right. He's got Souček there already, hasn't he? So
yeah. He dropped off a bit, didn't he? I thought he was good first season he came in. Souček, a real pain in the bum, but Hey,
Yeah,
it is what it
like the
is.
team tend to drop off. They didn't seem to attack like they started off. Yeah, I think that's probably been their weakest point. They got more and more defensive, I thought.
Yeah, I agree with you. My West Ham mate said that when they started the season trying to play football, they couldn't win a game. When Moyes went back to the tried and tested, that's when they started to progress in Europe and they started to climb out of trouble. But hey, it is what it is.
Can you believe that Sir Alex Ferguson handpicked Moyes as his successor?
I mean, it is a bit crazy. It is a little bit crazy. Just quickly, Martin Kingdon has said, sub to Savva and the Free Spurs boys. Absolutely. Please go and sub to the Free Spurs boys, Kuva and the Kang. We love Bobby. Sorry about Stewie. He wants to come onto the lap, but he's scared for some reason. Wolves Finland said West Ham won't make top 10. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I just think they're going to go back to being difficult to play against rather than everyone wanting to play them. Ibanez, has gone to Saudi Arabia, confirmed by Romano. I think you mean not Mourinho. Oh, actually, no, sorry. Yeah, you would have meant Mourinho because he's his manager. My apologies. Brian Murphy has said when Lineker and Gascoigne came in, Waddle went out the door to pay for them. Maddison and the top defender come in. Kane goes out the door. Similarities. We'll see. I don't think Kane's going. I'm not going to open that. I'm not opening that can of worms, though, in the last 2 minutes of the show. But I think he would have gone by now if it was happening. However,
I think he's staying this season because he wants to see what sort of football we're going to be playing. And if he's getting bags of goals because we're creating so many chances, I think he might fancy that.
I think football's a strange game. Never say never. Never say never. As it stands, though, I just don't see it happening. But please sign a new contract if you're going to stay. That's all I'm saying. Sign a new contract. Sorry, I'm holding this up, by the way, because I'm waiting for the dog to jump in. Come on. Oh, good God. What an idiot. Just go for a few more comments. We've got another super chat from Daniel Montandon, always a massive supporter of the stream. Daniel, and of course, is a channel member. Savva and Kuva on screen. Love it. Absolutely. Kuva knows he's always welcome on. We've got the channel member only show at 6:15, Daniel. So hope to see you there. And good luck to your other team, Doncaster Rovers, throughout the rest of this season. So thank you very much. Please smash the subscribe button. We've managed to get to 8,752. If 2 or 3 on the way out did want to press that button, that would be appreciated. Just a few more comments before we go. Like to read out some people's comments. I think Madders can be that Ginola type. Get out of any tight spot player. We saw that yesterday. Unbelievable footwork. Listen, if he could even do half the Spurs what Ginola did, then I'm all for it. I think Maddison's a wonderful footballer. Imagine if we had Ginola, Bale, Kane, and Greaves. Yeah. You know when you were talking about tents. Strasbourg Steve has said, only thing with Alvarez, I'm not sure if he's better at centre-back or centre-mid. Lovely problem to have, right?
Yeah, that's what's great about the Ajax system. They can do all of it. Yeah.
Lovely problem. I would have bought this guy and played him as the number 6, just saying, for Spurs. Yes, I remember the tail end of his career, Nico Klaassen. I remember he got that famous goal. I'm not even going to pretend that I know it was against. I grew up and I had a Spurs tape, like VHS, and it showed all the goals from 81 to 91 through to the cup final. So I grew up watching a lot of Chris Hughton and Nico Klaassen and Richard Goff and Mabbott. Do you know what I mean? Those sort of players. So, Nico Klaassen. Gregor Tiggs has said, sorry, people chose to say those typical things to you on a football opinion. Unfortunately, I've lost 2 people to suicide this year, and I pray it never happens to those making the comments. Listen, big up, Gregor. Thank you for the kind words. Listen, I'm cool. I just can't believe people are that nasty. Big up. Anything else before we go? Big up to you, Martin Kingdom. Thank you for being in the channel. Much appreciated. You two need to wake up and smell the coffee. Kane is gone. Listen, I think both Kuva and I have said the same thing. If he goes, he goes. But at the moment, he's not gone, is he? It's like there's no
apparently
coffee.
He was gone last season as well.
Right. So
and the season before, if I remember rightly, as well.
Yeah. And just to round off the show very, very nicely, Savva's hot spices here saying Savva is missing the point. As always, big up, big up, big up.
Oh, that thumbnail.
How we do it. How
dear,
we do it.
That is nightmare stuff.
Yeah. So listen, Kuva, thanks so much for coming on.
Pleasure,
SOF,
mate.
sorry, I should. Looking like Kane will stay. Could you see a scenario where Richarlison is sold? He can't play in the wing and Andrew system. Kane will start every game if fit. I see Richie being upset at a lack of minutes. I think he'll be happy to keep them all, if I'm brutally honest. I think this guy likes to make a lot of subs. I think that he'll actually get Richie minutes in his position. But if Richie's sold, he's sold. I'm not going to lose any. I won't lose sleep if any of them get sold, to be honest.
I think if Kane stays and signs a new contract at the end of it, I think Richarlison might want to leave.
Yeah,
but I think for this season he'll be okay. He'll get enough.
Yeah.
Get a bit of game time anyway.
Yeah. Emery is right. TV says, Savva, I'm not from the UK. Whenever I go to West Ham streams and realise I'm a Spurs fan, they throw abuse at me, and I am not. This does not happen on Arsenal channel, so why West Ham? I'm not going to get into that. I'm afraid I'm not going to get into any of that sort of conversation. We are going to leave it there. Kuva, thank you so much, mate. I really, really do appreciate it. Happy birthday to Perchy as well, by the way, who sent me many videos last night of him clubbing in Barcelona. Absolutely pissed as a fart. Happy birthday to you, Perchy. Thank you very much, Kuva. See you again soon. I'll be live at 2 p.m. with Kaz to get his take on things from a Man United perspective. Much love. Take care. And come on,
you Spurs.
You Spurs.